Futures from code and wire, men step back while machines aspire. Hands made of steel, hearts made of lightning.
Hey y'all, Joefer here, the Cranky Old Gay Guy. Today I am going to be talking about the AI replacement theory. It's not really a theory, it's something that is expected to happen eventually. And when I say replacement, I mean replacement of you as a laborer and in jobs. So AI is advancing very quickly. Customer service positions that can be, they've been doing it with robotic voices now, or what do they call it? Something straighted. Automated. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. Automated voice with all the options you have to push when you call someone anyway. So call center operators will be eliminated. That's my prediction. It's written on the wall. I think customer service positions, even in stores, will be eliminated. You do self-check right now. So I can totally see it happening if, let's say you're going to check in for a doctor's appointment or something. There would just be a monitor there, perhaps with a simulated AI reception person who would ask you the questions. There would be a little scanner if you need to scan cards and your license, etc. And then the payment, there would be a payment method if you had to pay ahead of time, but oftentimes you pay as you leave. A lot of offices don't let you bill now. You have to pay a portion of it ahead of time. Co-pays, you usually have to pay those in a doctor's office before you get seen by the doctor. In a dental office, at least the one I go to, you pay the co-pays on the way out. So that's going to be automated. There's no reason to have a person there. And I guess it would mean there'd have to be somebody on staff. So if someone's refusing to pay, they can't get away. And someone would have to come talk to them. Manufacturing, we already see robotic machines doing car manufacturing, etc. Amazon has robot pickers, so a lot of the people who do picking will be phased out. Writing, oh boy, if you've ever looked at any, like a book written by AI, they're pretty bad, and they just tend to repeat the same ideas over and over again, and they just reword them. Artistry. I don't think AI is really artistry, since it's pulling from images it finds online from other artists. It's also kind of theft, but not, because when you modify something to a certain extent, it's an original piece. So there's that, but it doesn't have the passion that something created by a human being has. That's, again, these are my opinions and my biases. So there's that. So here's my question. AI comes in and replaces people in all of these positions. So what do the people do? They're now unemployed. What new industry is coming around that can employ all these people? I don't see it. I see AI even replacing slaughterhouses and chicken farms, where robots would just do all the unliving of animals that people do now. I can see a robot plucking feathers just as well as having a person do it. So what happens to all the people who are being displaced? Well, I see civil unrest. I see a future much like the TV series that was limited to one season. I think it was on the Sci-Fi Network, and it was called Incorporated. And what happened was, whenever there was a natural disaster, these multi-billion-dollar corporations would step in and clean up a community or help feed people or this and that. They would do things that the government wasn't doing. Now, it's not that the government couldn't do it. It's that the government wasn't doing it. Why? Because the government was being paid by these corporations. The corporations, there were 5 of them or 7 in the world now that in this futuristic sci-fi show, and they actually ran the world. There were different governments, but they have so much power because of the money influence that they own the politicians. So if there was a natural disaster, FEMA could do so much, limited, they're limited in their scope because of finances, but these billionaire companies or billion-dollar companies could move in and take care of everything. And now the people love them. So when it came to a point where they were people, the citizens of the planet, different countries, were offered either keep your current government, or you've seen how these corporations are so great, why not let them be in control because they know what's best for you and for the planet? And that's what happens. Corporations are placed in power of everything. Once this happens, you have a huge divide in the haves and the have-nots. You have the haves who work for the corporation, who go along with the corporation, who never question the corporation's decisions, even if you see that what they're doing is mistreating half the population. You don't speak up or you get fired, and now you're on the other side of the game and you are that displaced population who's starving to death. Now in the movie or the TV series, again, Incorporated, you'll need to look it up. It's a pretty good series and I wish that it hadn't been canceled, just to see where it goes. But they would have these rich developments around the corporation on company towns, and everyone who works for the corporation lives in that area, and it is walled off and it is patrolled. And once you take your aerial view and you fly over this wall, it's just ramshackle old towns that have fallen apart, cardboard huts, tin roof shacks, people living on the street, people doing whatever they can to survive. There is an economy that's an underground economy because oftentimes the people from the corporation, they have a tactical protective support team that will come over, and if they think someone's living too high on the hog, they'll knock them down and they'll take what's theirs, or they'll burn their place, because the whole level of control is based on superpowers and no power. So if someone starts to rise, even in the impoverished area, people from the corporation would come over and knock them down to make sure that there is no rising up. Another issue was exploitation, in that the corporation would come over and select mostly younger individuals and then bring them over and use them as play toys for the rich. Okay, now is that happening? Not right now. But when AI comes into effect and corporations take over, which I think will happen, corporations will take over, before they're voted into power, and we still have government rule, what's going to happen to all these impoverished people? Well, first off, I think that before all of this happens, before AI runs roughshod and takes over everything, because politicians, for the most part, they receive a lot of money from billionaires and billion-dollar corporations right now and industry, so they're kind of in the pocket already. For some reason, I'm going to say greed, money has not been taken out of politics. So while we have a little bit of democracy still going, the government needs to roll out a healthcare program that is free to everyone. And when I say free, it is paid for by taxes. So no one's getting a free ride because anyone who is employed is paying into the system. It needs to have that. It needs to have a social security system for, again, everyone. When you leave work, if there is no job, rather than call it unemployment, call it a security blanket, okay? The social security blanket. Right now, you pay to social security, so what you're withdrawing is stuff that you put in to support the people who were retired then. Younger people are now putting in money to support you as you retire. It's a pay it forward system. It's always underfunded, and there is a certain segment of the political sphere who are always trying to take those funds that are on hold to pay people who are in retirement and use them elsewhere. Unfortunately, we had a recent election and someone has vowed to reduce this, and people on that person's side have decided that they want to eliminate it entirely. Now, I don't think it's going away entirely. I don't think they have the votes to do that, but I do see cuts, or I do see a freezing where it will not be increasing with inflation. So there's going to be some hardship there. Same with healthcare. Right now, there is the Affordable Care Act, which is not free unless you are super under the poverty line, and then you get a subsidy to pay for your health care. If you fall below the poverty line, depending on what state you get in, you qualify for a Medicaid plan, which is the medical plan, which pays for most things. With the current upcoming administration, if they can get rid of the Affordable Care Act, then people will then fall back into not being insured, which can cause severe consequences if you have a medical emergency, because it can wipe you out financially. And then you're back to zero. You're 50 years old and now you have nothing because you had a car accident, or because you broke your leg, or because you needed a replacement of a joint or something, or you got pneumonia, or you had a heart attack. People ask if I am a liberal. Yes, I'm a liberal. Am I to the left? I'm to the left of the right. I don't think I'm far left, but I'm certainly not far right, or even right for that matter. I do think that society owes the world and itself that we take care of everyone, regardless of their circumstance. So if someone is poor, help them out. If someone is living on the street, help them out, get them off the street, let them get to a state where they can now participate as a, what's the word I'm looking for? Something member of society, that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, I don't know the word. It's flipped off my head. Why? Because I'm an old cranky gay guy. And that's what happens. So, in conclusion, we need a healthcare system for everyone, because AI is going to put a lot of people out. We need a social safety net for everyone to keep you at least to the poverty level. Right now, Social Security in a lot of areas pays the monthly, gets a monthly check to the person who's retired, but it's not enough to lift them out of the poverty range for their particular region. So that needs to be changed. I think also something that should be considered is the, people are going to hate this one, but it's the income, a basic income that goes to everyone. And it is designed to make sure that no one is living in poverty. Now, there are, if you want to do your own research, look it up on the web. There are 2 or 3 cities in this country that have done that, where they're giving families and individuals $1,000 a month, free and clear. And it's being done as a test plan in these communities. I think one of them is in California. And it has lifted everyone out of poverty in those areas, or the majority of them out of poverty. And they can actually be contributing members of society. That's the word I was trying to get for when I'm saying get people off the street and get them back into a place where they can be contributing to society. But what is the word for it? I think it's UIB or UBI, Universal Basic Income. That's the word I was looking for there. If the government did that, it would save them a lot of money in the long run, because they wouldn't be paying for other things. If you had a healthcare system that was for everyone, well, all the money right now that people are paying for insurance plans would be reduced. You would still be getting money from people through taxation, but most people would be saving a lot of money, because rather than spending $600 a month for an insurance plan through their employer, and then their employer spending $600 a month as well, so that's $1,200 a month that's going to that insurance company, that individual will now be spending $200 a month or $100 a month, and the employer wouldn't be required to match. So you're saving the company money and you're saving the employee money. And the reason they can get away with this is because if the government is doing the insurance company is out. You don't have all the greed. You don't have the stockholders. You don't have the board of executives who are taking home huge amounts of money from that program. Instead, it is going into the medical system that is financed by the United States. And it is a nonprofit system. It is a service. It's not a moneymaker. So as long as you keep people who are controlling it out of that mindset where you have to make money, because you don't. You would have enough money going in if everybody was participating, and it would be a mandatory participation. If you want to get private insurance outside of that, you got the money to do it, go for it. But everyone would be required to buy into this program. And that way, everyone, regardless of your insurance status, you would be covered. And even if you're not working, you're going to be covered. You're not paying in, you're going to be covered. Well, there's enough people paying in that everything is going to lift up society and everyone will have health care. One way, if people are saying, there's just no way we're going to have the money for that. Well, stop cutting taxes for multi-billion-dollar companies. Start taxing them at a rate that is actually fair. And when I say fair, if you are a cashier making, let's say, $40,000 a year, probably wouldn't make that here, but you might make it like in New York or something. Why are you paying more taxes per year, percentage-wise, than the person making $1 billion? If you are a mom and pop corporation and you're making $200,000 a year, why are you paying more taxes than the percentage-wise, than the multi-billion-dollar corporation? You shouldn't be. It's totally unfair. If everyone followed the tax rate and the tax rate was written so it fairly taxed everyone, there would be a heck of a lot more money to finance social programs that would lift people up and make it a better country. Because AI, and that's what this is all about, AI is coming. It is going to replace a lot of positions. Voiceover, advertising, entertainment, manufacturing, farms. I think people out in the fields are probably the safest position right now, because it's going to be a while before everything that they do can be automated. But every other industry, automation is on its way. Home caregivers, on its way. Nursing, robots. I'm telling you, it can happen, and it will happen. And when that happens, what happens to everybody else? Political unrest again. Make sure that everyone is taken care of. Everyone. So and then, people might start living lives of leisure. Now, they would have a minimum income coming in, so they're not starving. So it's not like they're going to be out extravagant, but any money that they receive, they're going to spend. When you give tax breaks and huge amounts of money to someone who already has a lot of money, that money goes into stocks, or, they buy another yacht, or they use it for vacations. It doesn't go back into the local economies. And when you're giving a universal basic income to everyday people, that money's being spent. The economy grows, it thrives, it stays in business, and it's not disappearing. You get a healthy society. So, healthcare, social safety net, universal basic income, these are things that are all going to be needed when AI takes over. And again, AI will take over and replace almost every position you can think of. Okay, that's all I got for today. If you'll notice, this is staying on today. Well, actually, I'll take it off right now. But the reason being is something I'll put out a little blurb here in a bit explaining why. And it does have to do with a monetization thing. But everyone have a really great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow on Monday. Bye-bye. This is Joefer, the Cranky Old Gay Guy, saying, please comment. If you don't like what I'm saying, let the world know. You don't have to email me. You can email me if you have advice questions, because I would like to do another one of those things coming up soon. But if you just want to comment on what I'm talking about today, put it in the comment section. That way others can see it and join in if they'd like. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. I want this to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I'd like to keep on doing it, but we need some growth going on. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
The future's